Not sure if you actually heard that. That was an airplane flying over. Well, flyovers aside, it's always interesting when I'm filming one of these vlogs. There's usually a really loud car or a dump truck or a motorcycle or an airplane or something very noisy just happens to break the zen, the calm that usually is what I would like to have going on as anyway. Articulation problems aside. All right. So, what am I here for as far as this vlog goes? Well, I just happened to be on the old Twitter machine just a little while ago, and I happened to notice that there was a question being asked by fellow content creator Weibo Jones, and what she was asking was, "What is the worst movie I've ever seen?" Now, I usually keep a mental list of about 4 or 5 movies that I regard as the worst, and these are films that are not typically the worst movies ever made, but for one reason or another, they really stuck in my craw, and I just they're just something. They do not render good feelings. I don't know. Articulation problems aside. So, one of these films is unlike the other films in the list, and for one very specific reason. It was a film that I actually tried out for. I actually showed up with dozens upon dozens of other young aspiring thespians, and uh, it was a it was a very interesting experience. It was very yeah, it's hard to describe. Anyway, uh, back in, I want to say, the fall of 1990, uh, my parents happened to see something in the newspaper about the sort of a casting call for young men around about my age to be in a film starring Goldie Hawn. The film would eventually become the movie CrissCross, which was released in, I believe, 1992. Uh, so I got really pumped for it. I was like, oh, this is really awesome. So if I get into the movies, I might be able to meet Gary Coleman. What you talking about, chasing clout? It's one of the very few times in my life that I've actually, I guess, chased clout, where it's like, um, I'm going for the gold, man. I'm going for the super famous, and well, it didn't turn out that way. But the experience was kind of cool, nonetheless. Essentially, what it involved was drove down to the. Well, I didn't drive. I was being driven, of course. I didn't have a driver's license. I was a kid, so I was driven down to the Corpus Christi Bayfront. There's a lot of hotels down there. I believe it was the Marriott that we actually went to. They were holding this particular tryout, casting call, so on and so forth. I don't know the proper terminology. Um, so we got to the floor where everything was going on, and there was, of course, a lot of hustle and bustle, a lot of kids running around and being talked to by industry people and so on and so forth. They had a process where we were in this room, just kind of sitting around on these chairs, waiting for our turn to be interviewed by a group of about 5 or 6 people. So I sat there for I want to say a good 30, maybe 45 minutes, while kid after kid after kid before me was taken to a different room where all the interviewing stuff was going on. Now keep in mind, I totally Man, I was rocking a slick do. I was wearing my nicest threads. Yeah, yeah. This was my time to shine. So, um, I was sitting there. I believe I was playing my Game Boy, um, and it came up to my time, and so I went into this room, and there was about 5 or 6 people sitting behind these fold-out tables, and they had this video camera on, and they asked me like what my name was, how old I was, what school I went to, what town I was from, um, what my interests were, and so on and so on and so forth. I think they were trying to gauge what you know what my role potentials were. I guess I don't know. I don't work for a casting company. I'm not part of that process, so I wouldn't exactly have known what they were looking for. They weren't looking for anything that I was bringing, of course, because to make a long story short, I did not get the role. Some other kid got that role, and but the experience was rather exciting. I am, however, a little salty about not getting the role. That's, I've been salty for a long time about that, and but after a few years I got over it. It's like, dang, I could have been a contender. I could have. No, it's like, but it's these it's a memory that I nonetheless have. It's something that I will always carry with me. The time that I tried out for a Goldie Hawn movie and didn't get it. Um, I don't think that the kid that was actually cast did much after that film, which is that is what that business is like. Is that you know most people don't get a shot in the first place. A lot of people really only get one shot, and they're pretty much a one and done, and they go back to regular life and do regular things. And I'm one of those kind of guys that never got their shot to do a film, which is it would have been fun to do a film. It would have been fun. Even something low budget, something straight to video. It would be fun. But I didn't get my shot then, and I'm probably never going to get a shot as far as being in a film. Anyhow, I'm going a little long on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here, and I will see all of you again. Well, actually, I won't see any of you. You'll be seeing me. That's part of how this works. That I'm on the screen and you are not. You're behind the screen, in front of the keyboards and stuff like that, with the mice and all that. And here's my kitty. Come here, kitty. Come here, you. Oh, you're so cute. Oh. Good kitty. Anyhow, I'm going to pet this cat, and I will see. No, I won't see. You will see. You'll see me again later. You clean that fur, you. You clean that fur. I'll take it easy.